Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance Weekly Scrap, number 20. It is the year 2020. First scrap is number 20. So welcome. Glad to have you here. Really excited about everything we got planned for this year. And I know everybody's making resolutions, jumping on those diets, get the holidays past us, getting past all the feasting and the foods and the desserts. And now we got that in the rear view mirror, and we are ready to head out and conquer 2020. And so welcome everybody coming in here. Let me wave at a few people. And very excited about that. We got a lot planned for Firehouse Vigilance this year. We got some great guests coming up here in January. Brian Brush, Fire by Trade. Going to have him on here to talk about training and his mindset towards training. We've got Jim Moss of Firefighter Functional Fitness next week coming in. They have the #1 book in firefighting on Amazon right now with their Firefighter Functional Fitness. And I'm excited about that. We got Mark Alone of The Fire Inside. If you guys don't follow him on Instagram or Facebook, you need to, because that guy puts out so much content so consistently. It's amazing. So if you get a chance, check him out. Of course, all these people. So that's some of the announcements that I'm excited for 2020, and especially this January here. Also talking to Mark Von Oppen and John Spira, the Fit to Fight Fire, and of course, fully involved. And so really excited about the guests we got lined up to come up and be on here. Let me wave at some more people. Boom, 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 boom. So, yeah, first scrap of 2020. Welcome here. If you guys have questions at all, please post them. I will do my best to answer them, get to them. Very excited that 2019 is in the books and ready for this new year. I made some goals in 2019 to one of my big goals, of course, was to read one book a week. About halfway through the year, I did not complete 52 books. I think I finished at 36, but it got to a point where the goal was becoming more important than actually absorbing the book and getting that comprehension there. So I had to slow down because I just was not retaining enough at that pace. And so, but I'm very pleased with my reading progress. And so, I made it more of a daily as opposed to a number of books for the year. So every day I get my hour of reading in no matter what. And that's been the goal that I've been hitting. I'm very proud of. So looking forward to making those new goals for 2020. And that's it. So if you have questions, make sure and ask them. I will get to them. I want to know, as always, where are you watching from? So please post it there if you're watching this live, or if you are catching it on YouTube or catching it later on recorded on Facebook or wherever. Today, I was going to spend a few minutes talking about Nick's Rules on Leadership. I don't know if you've ever seen them. This was a blog post that was made on the blog Ranger Up in 2009. And somewhere someone shared it on social media, and I saw a copy of it. I loved it. I saved it. And now I'm just going to go. I'm not going to read the entire article. I'm just going to go over each rule, give my thoughts on those Nick's Rules on Leadership. If you ever get a chance, just type it in Google, Nick's Rules on Leadership. You'll find the list. It's a great list to live by. So without further ado, Nick's Rules on Leadership. And rule number 1, pretty simple, is don't be a douche. And I can't really, if you're just going to have one rule as a human being, that doesn't even have to be included as a leadership rule, but as a human being, I think that's a great rule to live by. And so Nick's Rules on Leadership, number 1, don't be a douche. I know that it's tricky because the person who is the douche rarely is aware, and that's part of what makes them a douche. So make sure you are in that mirror, examining yourself and figuring out, and don't be a douche. So that's rule number 1 to live by, Nick's Rules on Leadership. Number 2, your guys are more important than your career. And I don't know if you could sum it up any better than that, is that if you start thinking that that they are not the most important thing, that if they are not your number 1 priority, then you are going to lose at your effectiveness as a leader. Your guys are more important than your career. So even if it hurts your chances of advancement, protect your men. Be there for your men. That doesn't mean If that doesn't mean coddle them. It doesn't mean if they break the rules, they don't get disciplined, that you protect them from that. No, this means that you protect them no matter what, in the pursuit of their excellence, and they're doing their job. And if you do that, they will kill for you. They will die for you, figuratively speaking, of course. Number 3, Nick's rules on leadership. Number 3 is be good at your job. And this one goes straight. It's just competence. Be competent. Maybe get some more waves in here. Welcome, everybody. I'm having trouble reading sideways. So, yes, lots of Court Smith. Hey, Court. I can see that name. Welcome, brother. Bronx. Sorry, I lose my train of thought. I'm very easily distracted. It's like I see a squirrel take off. So, be good at your job. Competence, so important. I can't think of anything that will build confidence better than competence. And so be good at your job. Rule number 3 on Nick's rules on leadership. Number 4 ties right into number 5. But number 4 is it's not your platoon. And we're talking in the fire service here. You can say it's not your station. It's not your crew, right? That it's not there to serve you. Your guys aren't there to serve you. Your guys aren't there for you to own. Your guys aren't there to wait on you hand and foot while you stand in the background or sit up on your ivory desk. It's not your crew. You are there to serve them. If you want to be an effective leader, you are there to serve your guys. They are your number 1 priority. So it's not your crew, which leads right into Nick's rule number 5. It is your platoon, or it is your crew. So it's like the dichotomy that that Jocko likes to talk about. It's 6 and half dozen. So it's not yours to serve you, but 100% you have to own it and take responsibility for everything that takes place in it. Your guys screw up, it's your fault. You own that and you fix that, and it's your responsibility to fix that and own it. So 4 and 5, hand in hand. It's not your crew. It is your crew. Number 6, probably, I don't know if this is, and it's so hard to argue these. It's like the 1,000,000-point scale. Which one's more important? Number 6, don't lie ever for any reason. That's it. I mean, I can't think of anything that builds trust more reliably than don't lie ever for any reason. No white lies, no little easier to tell them this than to tell them the truth. No, don't lie ever for any reason, and you will build trust over time. So again, that's, if I could rank these, I don't know if you could actually separate some of these between don't be a douche and don't lie ever. That's pretty tough to make that distinction on which one would be more important. So number 7, Nick's rules on leadership. Number 7 is you make mistakes, admit them. This is tough for anybody in a leadership position because you want to be respected. You want to be looked up to. That whole thing about being good at your job, that you want that competence so you can inspire that confidence. And it hurts when you screw up in front of people. But no one expects you to be perfect. Your crew does not expect you to be perfect. And the biggest thing on this is you don't expect your crews to be perfect. You know they're going to make mistakes, and you're there to learn from them and pick them up. So why do you hold yourself to a different standard? Make mistakes, admit them, learn from them, don't repeat them, and move on. So that's number 7. You make mistakes, admit them. Number 8, leader is not equal to BFF. And so I love being close to my guys. I absolutely love being tight with them, spending time with them, playing games with them, going out with them. But it is more important that they have a leader than it is that they have a buddy. They got a lot of buddies. They need a leader. So I'm not saying they're mutually exclusive. You can be a friend to them, without a doubt. It is not mutually exclusive, but there is a line you don't want to cross in that. And you definitely want to remain their leader. And they don't need another buddy. They need a leader. That's a really good point. Number 9, you are not the smartest guy in the platoon. And if nothing else, if you can wake up in the morning, crawl out of bed, go in there when you're shaving and look in the mirror and say, I'm not the smartest guy in every room I walk into, that will give you a little bit. And believe me, mean it, because it is true. these generations coming into the fire service know so much and have so much at their fingertips to learn, and the schooling they've gone to and things like that. I'm not saying that they're more intelligent than us, but you just know in your mind you are not the smartest person in the room, and that will help you from ever falling into the trap of rule number 1, don't be a douche. So that's number 9. You are not the smartest guy in the platoon. Moving on to number 10, and again, the 1,000,000-point scale, how do you rate these? I don't know. This one's like at 999,997. It's right there with don't lie ever. And number 10 is you can never quit. That is probably one of the greatest statements/rules for a leader. If your guys see you quit, then they know they're allowed to quit. And you need to set that example. You will never quit. So number 10, again, man, it might be my favorite. Between don't be a douche and don't lie ever, and then number 10, you can never quit. So 11, almost done, guys, with these Nick's Rules of Leadership. Again, if you want to find these, type it into Google, Nick's Rules on Leadership. It'll pull up the list. Plus, he has an article with even more details written behind each one. So number 11 is you are not the focal point of your subordinates' lives. So again, this is that humility you need to have to be an effective leader, and that keep yourself humble and realize that you are not the focal point of your crew's life, of your station. You are not the centerpiece of it all. And again, if you think you are, then you're probably breaking rule number 1, which is don't be a douche. So number 11 leads right into number 12. Even though you're not the focal point, they will watch everything you do. And so if you whine about administration, they're going to whine about administration. If you quit on a workout, they're going to quit on the workouts. If you say, training's not that important, we don't need to do that today, they're going to say training's not that important, we don't need to do that today. Whatever you do, they're going to be watching. Number 13, 3 to go, guys. Number 13, get your bosses back. This was tough for me when I first promoted from company officer to the chief level. I felt like I had to fix things, fix issues, fix problems. But it takes a while to figure out what your actual role is. And one of the big ones is to remain effective as a chief, to be effective as a leader for my guys, was to make sure that the chiefs above me were effective and able to be effective, and to make them as effective as possible. And so have your bosses back. Complaints only go up. Make sure you only complain up to your bosses and let them know what's going on, what's being said. Keep them in the loop, keep them informed so they can make smart decisions. So when you have their back, it is a good thing. Yeah, make sure your complaints go up and have your bosses back so they can remain effective. And byproduct of that is you remain effective for your guys. Number 14, have a sense of humor. If you can keep that sense of humor when you make mistakes, admitting them will be so much easier. When you can laugh about them and learn from them. And having a sense of humor, guys, it's important. We're firemen. We know what it's like in a firehouse, and firefighters and having jokes, and it can be one of the funnest jobs on earth if we allow ourselves to have a good sense of humor about it. And I'm not talking about hazing or inappropriateness or anything like that. I'm saying strictly just having a good time, having a good sense of humor, belly laughing. I've never laughed so hard as I have at the fire station. So that's number 14, which leads us to Nick's rules, the final rule, and probably the one that can sum up all of the rules, and that is do the right thing. And I think probably, I don't know the percentage, 99.9% of the time, we know what the right thing to do is in a given situation. And a good litmus test you can use is there's usually an easy thing to do, and then there's a hard thing to do. And we know that most of the time, it's not exclusive. Sometimes there's easy things to do that we should be doing, but 99% of the time, if there's a choice between easy and hard, the hard road is the one we need to be doing. We need to choose hard. And so that is Nick's 15 rules. Number 15, do the right thing. So Nick's rules on leadership. If you ever want to see the article, go to Ranger Up or type it into Google and it will pull it up. It's a great little article. I wanted to go over it with you. And so I've been wanting to talk about it on a scrap, and I thought it was a good one for the first scrap of 2020. So, yeah, I can't knock that, Court. Court Smith says rule number 1 is always look cool. I can say this. I don't know. Yeah, I texted you earlier. You looked cool on the news today. Standing there in the background. I'm not going to lie. You look cool. So I wanted to tell you that. I don't know if you were flexing or not, but it looked good. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Books I'm reading currently. Difficult Conversations. This was given to me by a Chief Marler, my fire department. This book is unbelievably good for communication. That's basically, in a nutshell, difficult conversations, how to discuss what matters most. And it's all about difficult conversations, whether it's the conversation of having to discipline a subordinate, maybe bringing someone in to actually fire somebody if you're in a position where you have to do that kind of thing, all the way to going and talking to your mother-in-law about how you don't like her peach cobbler and or how she treats your kids, or insert whatever difficult conversation there is. This book gives a lot of tools for dealing with that. Now, that being said, the information in this is excellent. And this is a 10-year anniversary edition that's been revamped, but it is dense. It's a tough read for me, and I'm a reader. So, Difficult Conversations, good book. It's hard for me to get through. In fact, you can see where I'm at. I'm only like halfway through it. And one of the reasons why is because I finally got this book in the mail. Get my highlighters out of the way. The Stress Effect. Jocko had Henry Thompson on his podcast, and now because of that, this book is completely sold out on Amazon, and you have to back order it and wait for it to come in. It took over a month for me to get it, but it finally came in. So this thing is awesome. If you get a chance, you can listen to Jocko's podcast 187, I believe, through it's in the high, almost 200. Might even be in the 190s, but you can find Henry Thompson on there, and they discuss this book. Unbelievably good book on the stress effect, why smart leaders make dumb decisions. So far, I am very early into the book, and a lot of times when you read books, especially if you read like I do, and I read a lot of books on leadership, a lot of books on culture and habits and things like that, they repeat a lot of the same stuff. This one is very refreshing, and the new things it brings so far, just in the first 30 or 40 pages that I'm into it. So don't take that as a review. I'm just telling you what I'm reading and what I'm thinking of it so far. Anyway, weekly scrap, number 20. First one of 2020 in the books. Got great stuff coming in. Brian Brush is going to be on here. Jim Moss from Firefighter Functional Fitness. Mark Alone of The Fire Inside. And reached out to Ben Martin of Embrace the Resistance. Haven't heard back from him yet. Of course, I'm still trying to get John Spear rescheduled. So I'm just super excited about all the guests that are going to be on the scrap. So if you have questions you want answered, you want some of these guys to answer, hey, send me the questions. Put the questions in the comments and let me know. Always, is that a book you're suggesting? Halligan Matt, KTO, Primal Leadership? If it is, let me know, because I want to pick up that book. If anytime you guys have a book you want me to read, throw it in here, because I'm going to order it. My guys, this is my Christmas present. Where's it at here? All right, here, Barnes & Noble. The guys got me a gift card to Barnes & Noble, my station guys, because they know how much I love to read. So, okay, so it's called Primal Leadership. I will get a hold of that book then. Thank you, Halligan. And I'm trying to think of anything else I need to tell you, but that's it. I hope the tone stays silent for each and every one of you. I'm excited about 2020, looking forward to the weekly scraps that are coming. Hope the tone stays silent unless it's burning, and I'll see you on the next scrap, guys. Be safe.